The large metal ship gleamed in the morning sun as it cut through the blue waters near Hawaii. 6 months had passed since humans first learned they were not alone in the universe. The Galactic Confederation, a group of 17 different intelligent, alien species, had arrived on Earth with messages of peace and offers of trade. Today was an important day. Admiral John Miller stood tall on the deck of the USS Valiant, America's newest aircraft carrier. His gray uniform was spotless, his posture perfect. He watched as the strange ship approached from the east. It was the Wavebreaker, a medium-class battleship belonging to the Calaxians, an alien species that evolved on a water world far from Earth. "They're right on schedule," said Captain Laura Foster, who stood beside him. "The Calaxian ambassador seems very eager to see our naval capabilities." Admiral Miller nodded. "These aliens are naturally suspicious of other species with naval power. Can't say I blame them. Coming from an ocean planet, they've probably built their whole civilization around water defense. The Calaxian ship was unlike any human vessel. It had a smooth, almost organic shape with no sharp edges. Its hull was a deep blue-green that seemed to shift color as it moved through the water. It made almost no wake despite its size, which was about half that of the Valiant. On another part of the deck, Dr. Lisa Ward adjusted her equipment. She was a marine biologist who had spent 15 years studying dolphin intelligence. The Navy had asked her to join this diplomatic mission because of her expertise. Her long brown hair was tied back in a practical ponytail, and she kept pushing her glasses up as she worked. "Dr. Ward, are you picking up anything unusual?" asked Lieutenant Frank Carter, a young officer assigned to assist her. "Nothing yet," she replied, checking her instruments. "But I'm seeing more dolphin activity than normal for this area. They seem interested in our visitors." For years, Dr. Ward had argued that dolphins were far more intelligent than most humans believed. Her research suggested they had their own complex language and culture beneath the waves. Few took her theories seriously, but the Navy found them interesting enough to fund her work. The Calaxian ship came to a stop about half a mile from the Valiant. Soon after, a smaller vessel launched from it, heading toward the human ship. This would bring the Calaxian delegation for their tour and talks. "Prepare to receive our guests," Admiral Miller ordered, and the crew moved with practiced efficiency. The alien shuttle docked smoothly with the carrier. The door opened to reveal 3 Calaxians. They were roughly human-sized, but covered in fine, iridescent scales that ranged from silver to deep blue. Their heads were slightly elongated with large, dark eyes that didn't blink. Instead of noses, they had gill-like structures on the sides of their faces. Their hands had 6 fingers with webbing between them. "Welcome aboard the USS Valiant," Admiral Miller said formally. "I am Admiral John Miller of the United States Navy." The lead Calaxian stepped forward. "I am Ambassador Zell of the Calaxian Maritime Authority. We appreciate your hospitality." The alien's voice had an unusual resonance, like someone speaking underwater, but the words were clear English, thanks to the translation device pinned to its chest. The human and alien delegations exchanged formal greetings. The plan for the day included a tour of the Valiant, followed by discussions about ocean territory rights and naval protocols. The Confederation was eager to establish rules for their ships entering Earth's waters. As the tour began, Dr. Ward noticed something on her monitors. The dolphin activity around both ships was increasing rapidly. "Lieutenant, look at this," she said, pointing to her screen. "I've never seen them gather like this before." Lieutenant Carter frowned at the readings. Could be they're just curious about the alien ship? "Maybe," Dr. Ward said, but she looked worried. "But this pattern of movement, it looks organized." Meanwhile, on the Calaxian battleship Wavebreaker, the crew was following standard security protocols. Captain Marn ordered a sonic mapping pulse, a common procedure when their ships entered new waters. The pulse sent sound waves through the ocean that would bounce back, creating a detailed map of the surrounding area and identifying any potential threats. What the Calaxians didn't know was that their sonic pulses operated at a frequency that was extremely painful to Earth's dolphins. A large pod of dolphins was swimming peacefully about 3 miles from the ships when the pulse hit them. The sound was like 1,000 screaming voices to their sensitive hearing. They thrashed in pain and confusion. To them, this was not just noise, it was an attack, the first hostile act by extraterrestrials against Earth's native ocean species. Back on the Valiant, Admiral Miller was showing the alien delegation the flight deck when his communication officer approached urgently. "Sir, we're detecting unusual patterns in the water around both vessels," the officer reported quietly. "What kind of patterns?" Miller asked. "Biological signatures, sir. Hundreds of them, moving in what appears to be coordinated formation. Doctor." Ward was already rushing toward them, her face pale. "Admiral, something's happening with the local dolphin population. They're converging on us from all directions." Ambassador Zell overheard this. "Dolphins? The non-sentient aquatic mammals of your world?" Dr. Ward winced at the word non-sentient, but didn't correct the alien. "Yes, but their behavior is very unusual right now." The Calaxian captain contacted Ambassador Zell through their communication system. The ambassador listened, then turned to Admiral Miller with concern. "Our ship reports that your ocean creatures are surrounding our vessel. Is this normal behavior?" Before Miller could answer, Lieutenant Carter arrived with new information. "Sir, the dolphins aren't just gathering, they're communicating. Dr. Ward's equipment is picking up complex vocalization patterns unlike anything we've recorded before." Below the surface, the reality was even more extraordinary than the humans or aliens above could guess. Thousands of dolphins were indeed converging from across the Pacific. Through their sophisticated communication network that spanned oceans, they had sent out an urgent call: ocean defenders needed. The dolphins had lived alongside humans for thousands of years, observing their development with a mixture of curiosity and caution. They had evolved their own form of intelligence, different from but equal to human intelligence in many ways. They had technologies not based on metal and electricity but on sound, pressure, and collective action. And now, for the first time, they faced a threat from beyond their world. As night fell over the Pacific, both the human and Calaxian ships remained unaware of the true nature of the gathering below. Dr. Ward tried to explain her concerns to Admiral Miller, but even she didn't fully understand what was happening. "I believe they're organizing," she told him in his office. "My research has suggested this might be possible, but I've never seen direct evidence until now." Admiral Miller looked skeptical. "Doctor, are you suggesting these animals are planning something?" "Not animals, Admiral," Dr. Ward corrected firmly. "Intelligent beings who share our planet. And yes, I believe they're responding to the presence of the alien ship. Somehow they know it's not from Earth." The Admiral sighed. "I'll increase monitoring of the situation, but let's not alarm our guests with theories about intelligent dolphins." As they spoke, beneath the dark waters, the largest gathering of dolphins in recorded history was taking place. And they were not alone. Other marine species had begun to join them, responding to calls only they could hear. The oceans of Earth had defenders, and by morning, both humans and aliens would discover just how formidable they were. Dawn broke over the Pacific Ocean with streaks of orange and pink in the sky. The USS Valiant and the Calaxian ship Wavebreaker sat in the water half a mile apart. Neither crew knew that during the night, something extraordinary had happened. Beneath the waves, Dr. Lisa Ward had barely slept. She spent most of the night monitoring her equipment, watching as more and more dolphins gathered around the ships. By morning, her data showed over 3,000 dolphins in the area, an unheard of number in one place. "Lieutenant Carter, look at these readings," she said as the young naval officer brought her a cup of coffee. "The dolphins are organized in a pattern. This isn't random gathering." Lieutenant Frank Carter leaned over her shoulder to see the screen. "That looks almost like military formation." "Exactly," said Dr. Ward, her voice excited despite her tiredness. "I've studied dolphin behavior for 15 years, and I've never seen anything like this." On the bridge of the USS Valiant, Admiral Miller was meeting with Captain Laura Foster and several other officers. The mood was tense. "Our sonar operators report unusual activity all around both vessels," Captain Foster explained. "We thought it was equipment malfunction at first, but Multiple systems are showing the same thing. What do the Calaxians say? Asked the Admiral. They've reported navigation problems. Their systems can't get accurate readings of their location. Admiral Miller frowned. They think we're jamming them. Ambassador Zell sent a message demanding an explanation. But we're not doing anything, said Captain Foster. I know that, said Miller. But something is interfering with their systems and they blame us. Meanwhile, on the deck, Dr. Ward had set up additional equipment to record dolphin vocalizations. The sounds coming through her speakers were unlike any dolphin calls she had documented before. The clicks, whistles, and pulses followed complex patterns that repeated with variations. They're talking to each other, she whispered to herself. Really talking. Lieutenant Carter was checking readings from underwater microphones placed around the ship. Dr. Ward, you should hear this. It's coming from the direction of the Calaxian vessel. He turned up a speaker. A high-pitched sound filled the air, pulsing in a steady rhythm. Dr. Ward's face went pale. That's their sonic mapping system. It's at a frequency that would be extremely painful to dolphins. She grabbed her phone. I need to speak to Admiral Miller right away. The Calaxians are unknowingly attacking the dolphins. Below the surface, the situation was approaching a breaking point. The dolphins had been patient, observing both ships carefully. They had seen many human vessels before, and generally left them alone. Humans were fellow Earth creatures after all. But this new ship was different. It hurt them with its sounds, and they sensed it did not belong in their waters. The largest and oldest dolphin in the gathering, one the humans might have called Big Blue for his size and coloring, made a decision. He sent out a series of rapid clicks that traveled through the water. Other dolphins passed the message along, reaching thousands of their kind within minutes. It was time to act. On the wavebreaker, Captain Marn was growing frustrated. The ship's systems kept malfunctioning. The navigation computer showed them in 3 different locations at once. Sensors designed to detect underwater threats went from showing nothing to showing threats everywhere. Run another sonic sweep, Captain Marn ordered. Full intensity. Captain, said his second-in-command, perhaps we should contact the humans first. This could be caused by some local phenomenon they know about. Are you suggesting we admit weakness? Marn snapped. The humans already think their primitive naval force can compare to ours. Run the sweep. The Calaxian crew obeyed, activating their sonic mapping system at maximum power. The pulse that shot through the water was 10 times stronger than before. 2. The dolphins. It was like an explosion of pain. Big Blue and the others closest to the alien ship were stunned, rolling in the water in agony. But this attack served only to confirm what they had already decided. The alien ship was a threat and had to be removed from Earth's oceans. On the USS Valiant, alarms suddenly began to sound. What's happening? Admiral Miller demanded as he rushed onto the bridge. Massive movement in the water, sir, reported a sonar operator. Like nothing I've ever seen. Dr. Ward burst onto the bridge with Lieutenant Carter. Admiral, the Calaxians just released another sonic pulse. Much stronger this time. It's hurting the dolphins. Doctor, I understand your concern for marine life, Admiral Miller began. But we have a diplomatic situation. Sir, interrupted the sonar operator. The dolphins. They're attacking the Calaxian ship. Everyone on the bridge froze. Admiral, Miller stepped forward to look at the sonar screen. The mass of biological signatures was moving with clear purpose, surrounding the alien vessel in organized groups. That's impossible, someone whispered. Dr. Ward's years of research flashed through her mind. All the patterns she had documented, all the tests showing problem-solving abilities, complex social structures, the possibility of a language. She had been right all along, but even she hadn't guessed the full truth. Outside, they heard a sudden commotion. The group rushed to the windows to see what was happening. In the distance, the Calaxian ship was rocking in the water. Around it, hundreds of dolphin fins broke the surface as they moved in perfect coordination. Get Ambassador Zell, Admiral Miller ordered, and prepare a rescue team. Whatever's happening, we need to stop it before someone gets hurt. But it was already too late for that. The dolphins had started their attack and they were not acting alone. Deep below, other ocean creatures had joined them. Large squids wrapped tentacles around the ship's propellers. Schools of fish blocked intake valves, and the dolphins themselves targeted specific weak points in the hull with precision that showed clear intelligence and planning. On the wavebreaker, panic was setting in. Captain Marn shouted orders as warning lights flashed across control panels. The ship's outer hull sensors reported impacts happening all around the vessel. Water was beginning to enter the lower decks. "What is happening?" he demanded. "How can simple sea creatures do this?" His science officer looked up from a screen with shock on his scaled face. "Captain, these are not simple creatures. The patterns of attack, they show coordination and planning. These dolphins are acting with intelligence." Captain Marn stared, in disbelief. "Send a distress signal to the humans. We need assistance." The communication officer tried to comply but shook his head. "Our communication systems are being jammed, Captain." "That's not possible." But it was. The dolphins had learned over centuries how to disrupt sonar and other underwater technologies. They had developed these skills to protect themselves from human threats, but now they were using them against the aliens. Admiral Miller tried repeatedly to contact the Galaxian ship, but nothing got through. All they could do was watch as the alien vessel began to list to one side. "Launch rescue boats," he ordered. "We need to evacuate their crew." Dr. Ward stood at the railing watching the unprecedented event unfold. "They've been here all along," she said quietly. "An intelligent species sharing our planet, and we never truly saw them for what they are." Lieutenant Carter stood beside her. "What are they, Doctor?" She turned to him, her eyes wide with the enormity of the discovery. "Earth's first line of defense, the guardians of our oceans." As human rescue boats approached the sinking alien ship, the dolphins parted to let them through. They had made their point. Earth's oceans had protectors, and now both humans and the wider galaxy would know it. The rescue boats from the USS Valiant raced toward the sinking Galaxian ship. Waves splashed against their sides as they cut through the water. Admiral Miller watched through binoculars from the carrier's deck. Beside him, Ambassador Zell's scales had turned a pale blue color, which Dr. Ward guessed meant fear or shock. "This is an act of war," the Galaxian ambassador said, his translator device making his voice sound flat and emotionless. "Your ocean creatures are attacking our vessel." "Ambassador, I assure you this is not a planned attack," Admiral Miller replied. "We had no idea the dolphins would react this way." "You expect me to believe these animals acted on their own?" Ambassador Zell's large eyes narrowed. Dr. Ward stepped forward. "They're not just animals, Ambassador. They're intelligent beings with their own society. Your ship's sonic pulses hurt them. They're defending themselves." The ambassador made a sound that his translator didn't convert. It sounded like disbelief. On the water, the rescue operation was facing unexpected challenges. Every time the human boats approached the Galaxian ship, dolphins would swim between them, forcing the boats to slow down or change direction. The dolphins weren't attacking the human vessels, but they were clearly controlling who could access the alien ship. "It's like they're letting us rescue the crew but not save the ship," Lieutenant Carter said as he watched through another set of binoculars. Dr. Ward nodded. "They're making a point. They want the ship gone but aren't trying to hurt anyone unnecessarily." The wavebreaker was now tilting heavily to one side. Water had flooded its lower decks. On its main deck, Galaxian crew members were gathering, waiting for rescue. Some jumped into the water, their naturally water-adapted bodies allowing them to swim toward the human boats. Captain Marn was the last to leave his ship. His face was rigid with anger and shame as the human sailors helped him into a rescue boat. Around them, dolphin fins circled in the water, watching. "What is happening to my ship?" the Galaxian captain demanded as the rescue boat pulled away. Young human sailor pointed back at the wavebreaker. "Look." Several larger dolphins had appeared carrying something in their mouths. At first, the humans and Galaxians couldn't tell what they were seeing. Then they realized that the dolphins had tools. Some carried rocks. Others had pieces of metal and other objects they must have collected from the ocean floor. With precise movements, these dolphins were striking key points on the ship's hull. They seemed to know exactly where to hit to cause the most damage. Even more surprising, some dolphins were working together to create and direct powerful jets of water against specific areas of the ship. "That's impossible," Captain Marn whispered. "How do they know where our ship's weak points are?" "They can see with sound," Dr. Ward explained when this was reported back to the Valiant. "Their echolocation gives them a detailed picture of your ship's structure. They can probably tell where there are thin spots or joints in the hull." Ambassador Zell looked at her with new understanding. "You mean they have natural sonar technology?" "Better than any sonar we've built," Dr. Ward said. "They can detect a small fish from hundreds of feet away. Mapping your ship's weaknesses would be easy for them." As they watched, another group of dolphins appeared, pushing something large through the water. It was a sunken human boat engine, heavy and metal. Working together, about 20 dolphins positioned this makeshift battering ram and then drove it hard against the Galaxian ship's hull. The impact created a large hole below the water line. Water rushed into the ship faster now. Within minutes, the wave breaker began to sink deeper. Its nose tipped upward as the back of the ship went down. Then, with a series of loud noises as air escaped from inside, the alien battleship slipped beneath the waves. A cheer went up from some of the human sailors, then quickly died down as they remembered this was supposed to be a friendly diplomatic meeting. Admiral Miller shot a stern look at his crew. "Ambassador Captain, on behalf of Earth, I apologize for this incident," he said formally to the Galaxian leaders. "We will provide any assistance you need, and will investigate fully what happened here." Captain Marn didn't respond. He was staring at the water where his ship had disappeared. All around that spot, dolphins were leaping and clicking in what seemed like celebration. "This changes everything," Ambassador Zell said quietly. "The Confederation must be informed immediately. Your world has 2 intelligent species, not 1. Back in her lab area on the Valiant, Dr. Ward was reviewing footage captured by underwater cameras. What she saw confirmed her wildest theories. The dolphins were using tools. They were communicating with complex signals. They were working together in ways that showed planning and strategy. "They sank an advanced alien battleship," Lieutenant Carter said in awe as he watched over her shoulder. "Do you think they could have done the same to us? To human ships?" Dr. Ward was quiet for a moment before answering. "Yes, I think they've had this ability for a long time. They just chose not to use it against us. But why? We've hunted them, captured them, polluted their oceans. We're from Earth too, Doctor," Ward said simply. "Despite everything, they see us as fellow natives of this planet. The Galaxians were different. Outsiders entering their territory with technology that hurt them." Admiral Miller called an emergency meeting in the ship's conference room. Around the table sat senior officers, Dr. Ward, and the Galaxian leaders. The mood was tense. "We need to establish contact with them," Dr. Ward said. "Real communication. They're clearly willing to interact with us." "Interact?" Captain Marn's voice was cold through his translator. "They destroyed my ship." "After your sonic pulses attacked them," Dr. Ward countered. "They responded to a threat." Admiral Miller raised a hand for quiet. "Our priority now is to inform our governments and the Galactic Confederation about what's happened. This is a first contact situation of a kind no one expected. A second intelligent Earth species revealing themselves." "The Confederation has protocols for this," Ambassador Zell said. "Your world will now be classified as a dual intelligence planet. That comes with certain restrictions and protections." "What kind of restrictions?" asked Captain Foster. "For one, no Confederation vessel will be allowed to enter your oceans without approval from both human authorities and these dolphins." The ambassador seemed to struggle with the concept. "It is extremely rare to find 2 intelligent species evolving on the same world." As they discussed the implications, a sailor rushed into the room. "Sir, you need to see this," he said to Admiral Miller. Everyone followed him to the deck. In the water near the ship, hundreds of dolphins had gathered in a huge circle. In the center, the largest dolphin, Big Blue, was swimming back and forth. "Like someone pacing. I think they want to talk," Dr. Ward said. Dr. Lisa Ward rushed to gather her equipment. Her hands shook with excitement as she set up speakers and underwater microphones on the deck of the USS Valiant. This was the moment she had worked toward for 15 years, a chance to communicate directly with dolphins who were clearly trying to make contact. "What do you think they want to say?" Lieutenant Carter asked as he helped her connect cables. "I don't know," Dr. Ward replied. "But they just sank an alien battleship to protect Earth's oceans. Whatever they have to say, we should listen." Admiral Miller watched the preparations with concern. Behind him stood Ambassador Zell and Captain Marn, the Calaxian leaders whose ship now rested at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Their scaled faces were unreadable to human eyes, but their stiff postures suggested tension. "How certain are you that these creatures wish to communicate peacefully?" Admiral Miller asked Dr. Ward. "They've already shown they can be aggressive." "They let us rescue the Calaxian crew," Dr. Ward pointed out. "If they wanted to hurt anyone, they could have attacked the rescue boats too." In the water below, the circle of dolphins continued their strange formation. The large dolphin the humans called Big Blue swam back and forth in the center. Other dolphins moved in patterns around him, creating waves and splashes that seemed deliberate. Dr. Ward turned on her equipment. Sounds from the dolphin gathering filled the speakers. Clicks, whistles, and other noises that humans had been recording for decades but never fully understood. "I've been developing a basic translation program," she explained as she typed on her laptop. "It can't catch everything, but it might help us understand some of what they're saying." The program began displaying text on a screen. Most were labeled unknown vocalization, but occasionally words appeared. Danger, water, protect, Earth. "They know the concept of Earth," Lieutenant Carter said in amazement. "They understand we share a planet." Captain Marn stepped forward. "This is absurd. These are animals making noises, not language." As if in response to his words, Big Blue suddenly leaped high out of the water, performing a flip before crashing back down with a huge splash that sent water onto the deck, soaking the Calaxian captain. Several sailors stifled laughs. Even Admiral Miller had to hide a smile. "I think they understood you, Captain," Dr. Ward said. "And they disagree." Ambassador Zell moved closer to the railing. "If these dolphins are truly intelligent and can communicate, then according to Confederation law, they must be recognized as the legal controllers of their territory." "Their territory?" Admiral Miller asked. "The oceans," Ambassador Zell replied simply. "Approximately 70% of your planet's surface." This statement brought silence to the deck. The idea that most of Earth might legally belong to dolphins under galactic law was something no human had ever considered. Dr. Ward's equipment suddenly beeped. On her screen appeared more translated words. "Human speak. Dolphin listen." "They want us to talk to them," she said excitedly. "Admiral, I think you should say something. You're the highest-ranking official here." Admiral Miller looked uncomfortable but stepped to the railing. "Hello," he said, feeling slightly foolish. "I am Admiral John Miller of the United States Navy. We wish to establish peaceful communication." Dr. Ward's program recorded the dolphin responses. More words appeared. "No humans long time. Now time talk. Sky danger came." "They're saying they've known about us for a long time, but now they need to talk because of the danger from space," Dr. Ward translated. "Ask them why they attacked our ship," Captain Marn demanded. Dr. Ward typed this question into her system, which converted it into sounds played through underwater speakers. The response came quickly. "Hurt sound. Attack dolphins. Not welcome in our water." "They say your sonic pulses hurt them and they viewed it as an attack," Dr. Ward explained. "They don't welcome your ships in their waters." Captain Marn's scales darkened with anger. "Those pulses are standard procedure on all our vessels. We use them on hundreds of worlds." "Well, you can't use them here," Lieutenant Carter said firmly. "Not if you want to keep your ships afloat." News of what was happening spread quickly. Within hours, ships from other nations began arriving in the area. Military vessels from China, Russia, Japan, and several European countries took positions nearby. Each reported the same thing: unprecedented numbers of dolphins surrounding them, watching but not threatening. On the Valiant's bridge, Admiral Miller was on a video call with the President of the United States and other world leaders. "The situation is stable but extraordinary," he reported. "The Dolphins have made no aggressive moves toward any human vessels. Their action was specifically targeted at the alien ship after it released sonic pulses that harmed them." "And you believe they are truly intelligent?" asked the French president on the screen. "Not just animals acting on instinct?" "Dr. Ward has recorded complex communication patterns," Admiral Miller replied, "and their coordinated attack on the Galaxian ship showed planning, tool use, and strategy. They targeted specific weak points and worked together with clear purpose." "This changes everything," said the president. "If dolphins are recognized by the Galactic Confederation as an intelligent species with territorial rights to our oceans..." He didn't need to finish the thought. Everyone understood the implications. Meanwhile, Dr. Ward had set up a more permanent communication station on the deck. Through a combination of sounds, visual signals, and her developing translation software, she was beginning to have simple conversations with the dolphins. "How long have you been watching us?" she asked through the system. The answer came back. "Always. Since humans' small number. We watch, we learn, we protect water." "Protect from what?" "Bad humans sometimes. Now protect from sky people." Dr. Ward shared these conversations with Admiral Miller and Ambassador Zell. "They see themselves as the guardians of Earth's oceans," she explained. "They've been observing human development throughout our history." "But why reveal themselves now?" Admiral Miller asked. "They could have remained hidden." "I believe they wanted the Galactic Confederation to know Earth has two protectors." Ambassador Zell said thoughtfully, "Humans guard the land. Dolphins guard the water." As night fell, dozens of ships from around the world floated in the area, surrounded by thousands of dolphins. Lights from the vessels reflected on the dark water. Television crews in helicopters captured footage that was being broadcast globally. People everywhere watched in amazement as the truth became clear. Humans were not alone on their own planet. In Washington, Beijing, Moscow, and capitals around the world, emergency meetings were being held. How would this change international maritime law? Who would speak for Earth in negotiations with the Galactic Confederation? And most importantly, how would humans and dolphins work together now that the secret was out? On the deck of the Valiant, Dr. Ward watched the gathered dolphins with tears in her eyes. For years, her colleagues had laughed at her theories about dolphin intelligence. Now no one was laughing. "What happens next?" Lieutenant Carter asked, standing beside her. "Everything changes," she said simply. "For both our species." In the water, Big Blue and his pod continued their steady patrol around the human ships. The message was clear to everyone watching. Earth's oceans had guardians, and they were willing to fight even against advanced alien technology to protect their home. 1 year had passed since the day Dolphins sank the Galaxian battleship. The world had changed in ways few humans could have imagined before that day. Dr. Lisa Ward stood at a special platform built over the water in a new facility on the Hawaiian coast. The building behind her was called the Interspecies Communication Center. It had been built in record time with funding from every major nation on Earth. Around the platform, dozens of dolphins swam in patterns. Among them was Big Blue, now known by his dolphin name, which Dr. Ward's translation system rendered as Deep Singer. He was recognized as one of the main leaders of the Pacific dolphin communities. "The Confederation delegation arrives tomorrow," Dr. Ward said, speaking into a microphone that converted her words into dolphin sounds. "They want to finalize the ocean treaty," Deep Singer replied with a series of clicks and whistles that the computer translated. "We are ready. Humans have kept promise. No more sonic weapons in our waters." In the year since the incident, Dr. Ward's translation system had improved greatly. It wasn't perfect, but it allowed basic conversations between humans and dolphins. Both species were learning more about each other every day. Admiral Miller arrived at the platform, now wearing a new uniform with a special badge showing Earth surrounded by waves. He had been named the first human director of the Joint Ocean Defense Command, a new organization created to coordinate between human navies and dolphin groups. "Good morning, Doctor," he said. "How are our friends today?" Excited about tomorrow, Dr. Ward replied, and a little nervous too. This treaty is important to them. The Ocean Treaty had taken months to negotiate. It would establish rules for all non-Earth vessels entering Earth's waters. Under its terms, any alien ship would need permission from both human governments and dolphin representatives before entering Earth's oceans. The treaty also included technology restrictions. Several types of equipment, including the Galaxian sonic mapping system, would be banned in Earth's waters. The Dolphins had been clear. They would enforce these rules with or without human help. Lieutenant Carter, now promoted to commander, joined them on the platform. The president just arrived at the airport, he reported. Leaders from 27 nations will attend the signing ceremony. And the Dolphin delegations? Asked Admiral Miller. Groups from all major oceans have arrived, Dr. Ward said. They've been sending messages through the deep water sound channels they use. It's amazing how quickly they can spread information across the planet. The humans had learned much about dolphin society in the past year. Dolphins had their own culture, history and knowledge passed down through generations. They didn't build cities or write books, but their songs contained the memories of their ancestors going back thousands of years. Most surprising to humans was learning that dolphins had been quietly protecting Earth's oceans for centuries. They had developed ways to drive away dangerous creatures from swimming areas, guide lost ships to safety during storms, and even sink ships they considered threats, though they had rarely used this ability before. The Confederation representatives are nervous, Commander Carter mentioned. They've never negotiated with an aquatic species that doesn't use technology the way we do. That's what makes the dolphins so remarkable, Dr. Ward said. They developed their intelligence in a completely different direction than humans or any known alien species. They don't need tools or machines the way we do. Their bodies and minds evolved perfectly for their environment. The next morning, a large crowd gathered at the Interspecies Communication Center. Media from around the world broadcast the historic event. A huge video screen had been set up so everyone could see what happened both above and below the water. The Galactic Confederation had sent 12 representatives from different member species. Ambassador Zell was among them, now serving as the Galaxian expert on Earth affairs. Captain Marn had not returned to Earth. The alien delegates watched in fascination as hundreds of dolphins gathered in the bay. The dolphins arranged themselves in complex geometric patterns that slowly changed, creating what Dr. Ward explained was a form of ceremonial display. They're showing respect for the occasion, she told the assembled officials. These patterns tell the history of their role as ocean guardians. The President of the United States stepped forward to speak. 1 year ago, humanity learned we are not alone on our own planet. Today, we formally recognize our partners in the EU, protection of Earth, the dolphins and other cetacean species who share our world. Deep Singer and several other dolphin leaders swam to the edge of the platform. Through the translation system, Deep Singer spoke. Land belongs to humans. Ocean belongs to dolphins. Together we protect Earth from dangers beyond stars. The Ocean Treaty was signed first by human leaders, then marked with special waterproof ink by dolphin representatives who pressed their fins to the document. Finally, the Confederation delegates added their signatures, officially recognizing the treaty under galactic law. As the ceremony ended, Ambassador Zell approached Dr. Ward. This news has spread quickly through the Confederation, he said. Many species are fascinated by your world with 2 guardian species. Some are concerned. Concerned? Why? Asked Dr. Ward. A world with 1 intelligent species can be predictable. A world with 2 working together is more formidable. The ambassador paused. The story of how dolphins sank our battleship has grown with each telling. Now, most Confederation citizens believe Earth's oceans are filled with warrior dolphins who can destroy any ship that enters without permission. Dr. Ward smiled. Is that so bad? It might keep troublemakers away. Indeed, Ambassador Zell agreed. No Galaxian vessel will enter Earth's waters again without the most careful permission process. And other species feel the same. In the years that followed, Earth developed a unique reputation in the galaxy. While human technology was still limited compared to more advanced Confederation members, no species doubted the planet's ability to defend itself. Human space programs accelerated with help from friendly alien allies. Dolphin representatives even joined some off-world diplomatic missions, traveling in special water-filled chambers to meet other species. But one thing remained constant: no alien vessel ever entered Earth's oceans without extremely careful permission processes. The story of the Dolphins who sank a battleship became legend throughout the galaxy. When young Confederation citizens asked their parents why Earth's beautiful oceans were restricted areas, they were told the story of the invisible navy that patrolled the blue planet's waters, the intelligent dolphins who had evolved alongside humans but taken a different path. Earth had not one but two guardian species, and together, they made sure their world was respected among the stars.